So I too was a fat kid who wore Huskies, but I grew up in Fairfax and my dad called them dungarees. That's actually not my story. My story is sticking with the theme about love and how I tied the knot last summer. I got married to a beautiful, wonderful woman named Shawn. That's C-H-A-W-N. And yes, a woman named Shawn. And she's the best thing that ever happened to me. In fact, one of my buddies, when he met her, before we were dating, he said, "You realize, Chris, that you've outkicked your coverage, right? Don't blow this." We were married last summer, July 15th. We got engaged about 8 months earlier. And when we got engaged, I said, "Honey, I want you to have whatever you want to have at this wedding." You see, this was my second marriage. This is her first. And I said, "We can have a big wedding. We can have a small wedding. We can have a destination wedding. We can elope and have a big honeymoon, whatever you want." She said, "Actually, I don't want, I'm not going to go crazy." And she wasn't one of these, quote, bridezillas, right? We didn't need to have doves, in cages and a 20-piece brass band. She said, "I want good food and good wine. I want to be surrounded by friends and family. I want a nice dress, and I want you in a tuxedo." So I thought, we can work with this. So as it turns out, we had the wedding at the restaurant at Patamac Farm. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with that restaurant, although I'm hearing a few. If you are, you know that we checked the first two boxes. If you're not familiar with the restaurant at Patamac Farm, I highly encourage you to go check it out. Shortly after we got engaged, the wedding dress activity started very, very quickly. In fact, it was more than I was prepared for, but she very quickly, I think 2 or 3 trips to the bridal store, and she found the perfect dress. So we only had one more box to check, the tuxedo. In March, we went down to the bridal store right here in Leesburg, and we combed through more tuxedos than honestly I knew existed and picked the perfect tuxedo. Life is good. 3 days before the wedding, I get the call from the bridal store. Tuxedo's ready. The next day I went down to get the tuxedo. Apparently, you don't just pick up the tuxedo, you try it on in the store. I hated it. It was a drab gray, think Civil War uniform. The fabric was coarse and stiff. The shirt was poofy. The vest, and it had a vest. By the way, who orders a tuxedo with a vest for a wedding, an outdoor wedding in the summer? Apparently me. The vest was actually tight, so the sleeves poofed out at the shoulders. Think 19th century English attire. And the jacket felt like it weighed 50 pounds when I put it on. I hated it. And at this point, of course, the ladies outside the dressing room waiting for me to come out and tell them how wonderful the tuxedo is, I just took it off and I put it back on the hanger and I said, "It's fine, I'll take it, we're good." And I thought, she wants me in a tuxedo for the ceremony and for pictures. I can tolerate a tuxedo for 30 or 40 minutes, and then as soon as the pictures are done, bye-bye tuxedo. She calls me literally minutes after I get in the car. "So what do you think?" I said, "Honey, I hate it. I just don't like it. But it's okay. I'll wear it for a little while, and then it's going to just, pieces are going to start coming." She said, "Well, I don't want you to be miserable at your own wedding. So just bring it home. You can try it on, tonight, and we'll figure it out." So that night I tried it on. I literally got the pants on, and she's in the other room and sees me, and she said, "We're done. No tuxedo. I hate it." I'm like, "What? Why do you hate it?" She said, you have old man butt. I'm like, first of all, I didn't even know that was a thing, by the way. And I actually had to explain it to her. And the best way I can explain it to you is apparently we get to the point where it's like long back and a crack, I guess. And she said, you have lost, this isn't going to work. And I could tell she was a little disappointed too. Now, at that point, I'm not sure that she's disappointed over no tuxedo or the fact that we've already spent $250. But nonetheless, I thought, I'm kind of thinking on my feet. You know what? I had actually just bought a fabulous suit at J. Crew. It's kind of a pale blue. It's very lightweight. She had actually got me a couple of custom-made, tailor-fit shirts. So I said, honey, I'll wear my new suit. I've got those nice shirts. And I know, we want to kind of make that outfit, the day of your wedding, kind of special. So I said, I'll tell you what. I'll go get a tie. I'll go get a special tie, and I'll wear that on our wedding day, and I'll never wear it again. Maybe I'll pull it out only at anniversaries, and that'll kind of make it a special outfit. So at this point, I think we've kind of, righted the ship a little bit. So I think the next day I went to the store to pick out a few ties. Of course, I didn't think enough to bring the suit with me so I could match ties to the suit. So I'm in there looking at ties thinking, how tough could this be? And honestly, I had a hard time. I bought 3 ties, folks. I bought a bow tie and 2 kind of normal ties. Sunday morning, the day of the wedding. It was about a 4 o'clock wedding. And about 11 o'clock, I thought, I should probably start thinking about what it is that I'm going to wear and kind of think about the whole outfit. So I put on the suit and I put on the shoes, and I have a favorite pair of black shoes. The buttons on the suit, the new suit, are brown. I don't have a nice pair of brown shoes to go with the suit. I'm literally driving to the outlet mall to buy a pair of brown shoes like 4 hours before my wedding. I get the shoes, I come back, now I'm putting the whole outfit on, and I turn to the ties. I try the bow tie. It was the worst look you could possibly imagine. I'm very long-waisted, so I've got a tie here and like a football field of white shirt down my front. That didn't work. I tried on the second tie. It didn't match at all. Now I'm starting to stress. I tried on the third tie. It didn't match. Now, by the way, when I hear myself telling this part of the story, I find myself thinking, maybe I should be wearing the dress, is kind of how it sounds a little bit to me. And at that point, by the way, had I tried on these ties before I went to the stores to get the shoes, I could have got a new tie. At this point, it's way too late. I got to get to the wedding, which, by the way, it occurs to me, how am I going to get to the wedding? Because we literally didn't have a wedding party. I'm doing this all by myself. I don't have a best man. And we were taking a limo home from the wedding. So I'm not going to leave my car there. I called an Uber. I literally Ubered to my wedding. I put the suit and the shirt back on the hanger with the 3 ties. I went to the wedding via Uber, and I get there, and I'm like, again, I'm starting to sweat, of course, and it's July, and it's hot. So I get there, I find the men's room, I get dressed, I try the one tie that I thought might work, and I'm like, you know what? She's not getting a tie. It's a summer wedding. We told people to be casual. It's outdoors. I can't imagine there's going to be too many guys with ties anyways. It'll be fine. First guy shows up. He's wearing a tie. Second guy shows up. He's wearing a tie. Like the first 10 guys that show up to this wedding, I'm in the back, they're all wearing ties. Now I'm really in a panic. I'm like, I can't be the only guy in my wedding not wearing a tie. So my friend Drew shows up. Drew also happens to be my pastor. Drew is presiding at the wedding. He walks in, I'm like, Drew, I got to talk to you, man. Like, I'm stressed. I mean, this seems silly. I'm actually stressed. Here's the deal. Like, I bought these ties, the tuxedo, and I didn't like any of them, never a match, and I was just going to not wear a tie. But now these guys are showing up, and I don't have a tie. I don't know what to do. And, he starts saying, and for crying out loud, like Drew's wearing a suit and a tie. You know what I mean? And Drew gives sermons. We have a casual church. Drew gives sermons in jeans. I'm like, what are you doing wearing a suit and a tie? And I went, wait a minute. Your tie. That would actually match my suit. I quite literally took the tie off of my pastor's neck and tied it on about 5 minutes before I had to walk to the altar. And as it turns out, it was the perfect fit and the perfect match, and it was the perfect wedding. And that, my friends, is how we tied the knot. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.